Hi everyone, welcome to another Thursday's video. In today's video, I am bringing you a full illustration. This is a marker illustration of this tree house that I decided to do, and it kind of looks like a fantasy type of themed art, if that makes sense. But I will kind of explain my process that I went through this. So before I started sketching this, I decided to use this paper that I had for a while that I actually got for free, and I have like a bunch of it. And it's a photo type of paper, so it's very glossy and thick, and so that's what I usually used for most of my videos or drawings that I did similar to this previously, like my mushroom forest and my Lilo and Stitch one is what I remember. Yes, that one. So I decided, okay, I'm gonna use that, and I'm gonna try and use colored pencils with this because I feel like I need to use more art supplies to make my art look good, because I usually just stick with one art supply. Like if it's a painting, I stick with acrylics. If it's a marker illustration, I stick with markers. I don't use any other art supplies to make the art look better. So with this one, I decided to use colored pencils, and I tested it out on some printer paper, which it blended out really well, and I thought, okay, this will go really well with the photo paper. Since it blends well, it's going to most likely blend on that photo paper. And I was wrong. I was completely wrong with this, but I ended up, as you can tell, I ended up sketching it all out, which is a while of a process. It took me about 2, I think maybe even almost 3 days to do the sketch because I wanted to make it look good, and then after I was done with that, I used the colored pencils to outline it, which you guys will see. I'm just kind of telling you how it first began, and then I'll kind of go back to the art and explain everything. But anyways, I ended up coloring it in, well, not coloring it, outlining it with my colored pencils, and it looked perfectly fine, which I was amazed by how the pencil went down on that photo paper. I didn't use any pen liners to outline the illustration because I kind of wanted to make it look a little bit realistic with a hint of a fantasy style theme. Like it's a bit cartoony, but yet still just a tad bit realistic. So I didn't do that. I used colored pencils, and I saw that the colored pencils went on this piece of paper. So I'm like, okay, we're going great. This is going perfectly fine. So I ended up color blocking some areas like the tree trunk and then a bit of the leaves that are on the tree, and I used a marker first, and then after that I ended up taking the colored pencils and trying to where those lanterns are, which you guys can't really see because I ended up drawing them towards the end of my sketch. I drew some lanterns. They are similar to the ones from the movie Rapunzel, so I kind of wanted to add those in it, and so I did, and a few of them are kind of floating over the tree leaves off the tree, and so I tried to use my colored pencils to kind of blend that so it looks like the lantern is shining the light onto the tree leaves. That's what I tried to do, but that did not work. It just looked really muddy. I was going to show a video of my process the first time, but after I was done editing this video, there was still 30 minutes left, and I'm like, I'm not gonna include that if it's gonna be 30 minutes. I think about 12 to 13 minutes is plenty of video footage, so that's what I did. It looked really muddy. I tried fixing it. When I was color blocking, I did leave like kind of an outline of where the light is supposed to shine until like at what point it stops, and then I ended up trying to add colors, like trying to fix it, but I couldn't, so then I just went over it to cover it up, and the tree leaves looked really black, and I couldn't do anything about it. Like I tried getting rid of that black, but it would just not leave. So I had 2 other lanterns kind of on the top of the tree. You can kind of see it now where it's on top of that tree, and I thought, okay, I can practice on those lanterns to see how well I can blend them, and so I did, and it just horrible. It looked so bad. It was like much worse than the first lantern I colored, in. And then I ended up just saying, screw it, we're just gonna continue with this and deal with that later. And I started working on the water, and the water was just as bad. It was probably worse. It just looked muddy and gross, and I didn't know what was wrong with it. And then I noticed that I guess when you use marker on that photo paper, it makes it so slippery that once you try to put any pencil or other art medium onto it, it doesn't go. Like, I don't know why. It's interesting how it works. So then I ended up taking my printer paper, and I thought, okay, printer paper is probably gonna make everything bleed out and just look all weird, but that's the only paper I had left, so I ended up using that. And oh my goodness, it looked 10 times better than the first one. The first one was just horrible. I felt so bad. Like, I was so excited for this art. I was so happy after I was done sketching it. But after that, like, seeing how the colors were going down, I did not want to work on it anymore until I tried the printer paper. And I noticed when I was trying to test the pencils to see if they blend with the marker and they look nice, I used the printer paper for it, and it looked really nice. So I was really happy at the end. There are a few, of course, some things I would change about this. There's always a few things I would change about this, but you know, it happens. We learn from every illustration that we do, and hopefully I can continue making these videos where it's just a full art illustration. It's not some kind of small video that's like 5 minutes where I'm doing the 1 minute to 5 minute to 10-minute challenge or something like that. I want it to be a full-on illustration where it covers the whole entire page. Like, that is my goal to do on this channel. That's something I need to work on, so I'm really happy how it turned out. My last illustration, like a full marker illustration, was probably 2 months ago, and it was the Lilo and Stitch one, and I just used markers. I didn't really use colored pencils, so it didn't look the best. And I did explain in that video I would change the color of Lilo's skin because it's just too dark, and like, I don't know, it did not look good. But if I used pencils, I know it would have made it better. So yeah. But anyways, also change a little bit of like the rocks. I did draw mountains in the background, which you will guys kind of see a little bit towards the end. And the island that the treehouse is standing on, it's supposed to be rocks, but it did not look like rocks at all. So I guess that's also one thing I would change. I really need to work on, you know, drawing mountains and drawing rocks. That's also one thing I'm very bad at drawing, which I am working on. So yeah, but other than that, I was really happy on how this turned out. Also, the lanterns like on the trees, like where the leaves are, look really good. And the leaves on the tree, I didn't want to make them realistic, so I made them kind of look like a bush almost. Like, I wanted to make them look goofy, and that's what I did. And actually, my mom really liked this picture, surprisingly. So I was really happy drawing this, and I really like how I did the tree trunk. Like, it looks just so good. Like, I am so happy about this drawing. It amazes me. Like, some things, if you work hard enough for it, you can make it look really good. So that's what I did. As you can tell where the lanterns are, I did draw like, I guess, circles around the lanterns so I know where the colors stop. And I know it looks a little bit weird because they are supposed to be technically closer to the tree and the mountains are supposed to be farther away from the tree, but I still wanted them to blend out and to have that like bright light so they shine everywhere, if that makes sense. I don't know. I just really like how this turned out. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a like. That will help me so much. I hope you guys enjoyed this picture in general. Like, it makes me happy knowing like it looks good. So yeah, but but if you liked it, give it a like, cause why not? But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and please subscribe if you're new to my channel. Also check out my Etsy and my Redbubble shop. I have a link down below, as well as the rest of my social media, which is everything is just linked down below. Just go check it out. That will make me really happy. And again, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video.